82 games later, the 2024-2025 NBA regular season has come to a close in rather dramatic fashion. This year, what can, for lack of a better word, be described as colossal trades. Dynasties fall apart, and in their place, new ones could possibly be forming. But before that can happen, they first need to make it to the promised land and be crowned the 2025 NBA champions. I'm Chris Vadnais, joined alongside the wonderful Julia Henry, here to give you all the details you need to know this postseason. Now, Julia, with all these contending teams, it's pretty up for grabs who the championship's going to be. But with all these contenders, there's bound to be some form of disappointment. So for you, who is one of those teams that you think is going to get bounced early in that first or second round?
Yeah, I'm going to start with the Rockets. They're a number 2 seed, but they're kind of a fraudulent
I agree.
2 seed. They have Jalen Green, who has really been great all season, but he's kind of been in a slump. Since February, his points per game have really dropped off. Each month after that, they went 6-4 in their last 10, lost their last 3. Obviously, the end of the season is a little bit tricky. You're probably not playing everyone fully, things like that. But just not great to build momentum for the playoffs. So I just think they're one of the teams that they're in that number 2 seed, and also they have to play that play-in team. And if it is the Golden State Warriors, if they're able to take that spot, I think that's a very dangerous team to have to play as that lower seed. So I think the Rockets get upset early on.
I'm going to go for my first upset. I'm going to go with the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I know this sounds like a blasphemous take. They won 64 games. But Donovan Mitchell is no stranger for being the number 1 guy on a fraudulent 1 seed. He did it in Utah, and I know he had a great performance against the Nuggets in that 1 series, legendary series, him against Jamal Murray. But I just don't think he has what it takes to be the number 1A guy on a team. I think he could be a fantastic 1B or even a number 2 option on a championship team. But someone else that I don't think can be a number 2 option at all is Darius Garland. Those who know me know that I'm not very huge on this guy. He's sort of he falls off in his playoffs. His efficiency goes way down the drain come postseason time. So I'm not huge on him. Someone who I do think could help is Evan Mobley, who I wasn't a truther on before, but since I've seen his development this season, and he did really well in the playoffs last year, I think he could help the team a lot. But I mean, this team hasn't seen postseason success. They beat the Magic in 7 games last year and then got bounced in 5 games by Celtics in the first round. So I think that could be a similar situation this year if they fight a tough team.
Definitely. That's a team that, kind of have to see another one that maybe could be a little fraudulent. That's one of those top teams. And then I also think the Knicks are a team that's not going to make it far. In the playoffs, it's a matter of who's been good, but also who has the gas to carry through the rest of the playoffs. And teams, Tom Thibodeau's teams, they play a lot of minutes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
3 of their starters are ranked in the top 10 in minutes overall this season per game. So I just don't think that they're going to be able to have that momentum. They also kind of have a weak pick and roll defense. And, just questions surrounding their offense, surrounding their depth. And when your starters play a lot of minutes and you don't have the greatest depth, it just doesn't bode well for a deep postseason run.
Yeah, they are 0-12 against the Celtics, Thunder, and Cavs this season. Not very good if you're not winning a single game against the contenders this year. But my other first round exit will be actually the Nuggets. And I know Nikola Jokic. I could talk about him all day. I love him to death. But I think their nightmare matchup is actually the Clippers. I mean, James Harden has seen a bit of a resurgence, and I think him and Jokic, or him having Zubac in the post, is going to be a really good pick and roll for them. I don't think Christian Braun's going to be able to guard Harden. Kawhi playing some of the best basketball in recent memory. He has not played a single game against the Nuggets since 2023. They split the series this year, but even now, Kawhi wasn't there for all those games, and that he's playing at this quality. I think he's going to be really potent for them. I don't think they're going to have the answer for it. And so, flipping over to the other side of things, aside from first round exits, who do we think are people or teams that are going to get bounced in the first round that a lot of people think that you think are a sleeper for the next round of the playoffs?
First, I've got to start with the Detroit Pistons. They turned around a 14-win season last season. This season, they won 44 games. Winning 30 more games in the next season is absolutely crazy, and I think that's what matters, again, come the playoffs. They have Cade Cunningham, who's been absolutely great this season. And just they're hungry. They brought in a couple of decent veterans over the offseason who have proved to be absolutely huge for them. So I think that that's the big thing in the playoffs. You need someone who's really hungry. They haven't won a playoff game since 2008. So really the Pistons are one of those teams that I think are going to make a deeper run than most people think in the playoffs.
My sleeper for the East is going to be the Milwaukee Bucks. I think he's really incredible. I think Giannis is really incredible. He's healthy this time. He wasn't healthy for their first round against the Pacers last year. And Damian Lillard, he's currently out with a blood clot, but he's currently on blood thinning medication that seems to be working well. He was getting evaluated today to see if he can return to basketball activities, and things were looking good for him. So if he returns in that second round, Giannis, yes, he'll have to carry in that first round, but he's healthy. He's hungry. He wants to make another deep postseason run. I think he could beat the Pacers on his own and sort of do a 2018 LeBron type of thing where he puts the team on his back for a series. Yeah,
it'll definitely be interesting to see, what happens with Lillard if Giannis can do it all. Another team that I think will make a deeper run than people expect are the Timberwolves. They started off with some flashy headlines in the offseason, trading away Karl Anthony Towns, and they brought in Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo, who weren't great to start, but they really had a second half surge and helped them. Behind Anthony Edwards, he's fourth in points per game. I really think that the Timberwolves are a strong team that will make a deeper run than most people expect. And I think, on the opposite side of the Knicks, they kind of won this trade in the long run.
Yeah, I think Anthony Edwards, he's really developed well, and he did really good in that last postseason. But for the West, I'm actually going to go back to the Clippers. I mean, I just want to speak on Harden. He's had a resurgence this year. Not like he's back in his prime days like back in Houston, but he's definitely producing a lot more. His scoring's been a lot more potent. His turnovers have not been egregious as they were back in his days in Philly. And Kawhi, I could talk about this all day. He's playing his best basketball in years. Defensively, he looks like he's got a Spurs jersey on again. I mean, he's scoring well. He's had some of his best performances of the year in March and April. So, and I think, again, Zubac, he's had a big step up this year. So I think the three of them combined are going to be a lot more dangerous than people think. And the last thing I wanted to talk about was, of course, who do you have making the finals and who do you have as the 2025 NBA champion?
Definitely, Chris. And spoiler, we both picked the same teams to make it to the finals, but we picked different winners. I'm going with the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think their young team, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, this is really his year, kind of, again, getting another opportunity at the playoffs, growing and learning as that young team. And I really just feel like that youthful roster, the Western, I just think the East is a little bit more of a gauntlet, and I think the Celtics will just be a little bit more beat up when it comes to the finals. So I think the Thunder and kind of that youthful presence, the depth they have on their bench, will help them win this year's title.
Yeah, you make convincing points. And I have to say, you can't ignore a 68-win season from a team. Shea's going to be the MVP, as odds are saying right now. But I have to go with the Celtics. One, they're my hometown team. But two, I just think they're a lot more postseason ready. I mean, they've been to I think this will be their sixth conference finals if they make the finals. This will be their third finals in this Tatum-Brown era. I just trust what they're able to do. I think Tatum will do anything to win. I think he's going to want to get that finals MVP, secure his Boston legacy, and secure himself as a spot as one of the best players in the league. But we'll just have to wait and see as the 2024-2025 play-in tournament kicks off the postseason this Wednesday night. For Julia Henry, I'm Chris Vadnais. Thank you for watching and have a great night.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to this edition of Penn State Sports Night.
For more content like this and so much more, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and X. For everyone here at Penn State Sports Night,
we are
Penn State Sports Night.